Hi, everybody. Oh boy, this is the coriander quilt, block 3 mystery quilt. Oh, it's so nice. Thank you, Cory, for doing this. This is so much fun for so many of us. And so I just want to let you know I'm just opening my pizza box here with my quilt, my block 1 and 2 in it. And this is my baggie that holds my extra ears, you know, those corners we cut off. And then these are a bunch of extra half square triangles. And these are all the cuts that I have. These are my 4-inch pieces, mice, orange, strawberries, cherries, and my 3x3 pieces. Here's some more 3x3s over here. And then these are the smaller piece, whichever that is. And it looks like I'm going to need to cut some more of my little white 3x3s, but we use those. And then this is the rectangle size. And then these are the 2 smalls, the colored squares or rectangles, the white rectangles. And that's what we need for this month. We need 2 long white ones, 2 8.5-inch white ones, 2 shorter colorful ones, 2 longer colorful ones, 4, I assume these are going to be the corners, and I like this cherry material. And then I did yellow cherries. And then I had a red flower bunch and a blue. So those are my 4 corners, and then 16 of the variety. And so I tried to make sure I had plenty of blue because I have a lot of green cut out. But I got some cherries and some light blue and dark blue and some red and a pink. I'm sort of short on pink, but I got a little bit of pink in there. Okay, so there's all my blocks. And so we're done with all these extra pieces. I can go ahead and close up the box. I know we'll have some extra, I believe, half square triangles that we're going to have extra this time that we'll be saving for the next, some future moment when we'll use them. Have you started yours already? I had a wonderful day today with Lynn Lockhart. She came over to my house and we had lunch and sat around and giggled, and she was working on some cutting and I was trying to put together my coo cow. But now it's time for me to get started on this Cali & Co. mystery block number 3. Yay! And here we go. And I printed out the instructions. And you know how to get to them? You go to Coriander Quilt's website. Okay, so like on Google it, Coriander Quilt. And then it comes up and there's a nice big square box that says mystery block number 3. Maybe it says press here, but it's very simple. Cory has it perfectly ready for us. Even I could find it. I mean, really, come on. So here is the instructions. You'll see them when you pull them up. It's a good excuse to have a color cartridge in your printer because you just have to have it for these blocks, right? So let's see here. I think that's page 2. Here we are. Here's page 1. So page 1. So the first thing we're going to be doing is making 32 half square triangles from the 16 and the 16. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and I hope you want to sew along with me. Or you can just speed through this if you're just on a speed mission. Oh, my husband asked me now, do people like to watch those really long videos that you're making? I said, well, it seems that anything that I put sew along in the title, I have twice as many, maybe 3 times as many views. What do you think? Do you look for sew-alongs or do you look for the tutorials? What do you search for? Let me know. Thanks. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to draw lines on the back of these with my friction pen, not that one, not this one. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Well, we could try one of these. I'm not sure when I used them last. Let's see if they work. Not much. Oh, that's good. That is a self-erase marker. It disappears after 14 days. And this is water erasable marker, clover. It's very fine, but I think you could see that. I'm going to use this one. And we'll just go along the back of each of these whites. Or should we put it on the, well, let's put it on this one. No, let's put it on these. Okay. Because we're going to sew on either side of it. Yeah, I can see that. I was looking at Cory's Facebook page for this, and boy, some of the blocks people are making are so beautiful. Not as scrappy. I tend to think that scrappy is beautiful, but there was one lady that had a series, like one of her blocks was predominantly a warm taupey brown and then shades of medium to light pink. Man, was that pretty. And then there was one with more of a, I don't know, olive green perhaps. Very unusual colors for me, but they were so pretty. Yeah, I can still, it's very faint. I can just barely see it. Alrighty then, so we go down each side of that, I believe. Let me make sure, because I might go ahead and do something and then have to go back and undo it. I've been known to do that. Okay, we're going to make 32 half square triangles. All right, we can do it. And I've got my seam tape here ready. Let's see. Oh, here's my friction pen. Boy, I love these forceps. Okay, so we're going to put the squares together and then sew down 1/4 on each side, which is right there. Oh, that's way too fast. We need to be able to control it a little better. I have to set that down a little. So I'm going to go through them all, one side, and then come back and do the other side in a chain. Boy, those squares are not exactly the same, but close. Yeah, that's much better. Do you all use that 1/4 inch tape that you put on here on the bed of your machine? And it lets you know way out here where the 1/4 is so that you can guide it in nicely. You're probably saying, Marlene, we've known about that forever. Come on. Well, then after we cut them apart, we're going to probably square them up anyway, so we'll be okay. What's the matter? Something went wrong there. Oh, the thread has a flaw in it. Okay, here we go. I like these peach colors. Well, I grew up on a peach farm, so we picked peaches. We were a peach picking family. And if you've ever picked peaches on a 90-degree day, that is a fuzzy, fuzzy situation. We would wear Dad's old work shirts, white, high collar, long sleeves, to protect the elbows and your underarms from peach fuzz. Oh my gosh, that'd itch. Oh, it was horrible. And we'd go through buckets of baby powder all around your neck to keep the fuzz off your skin. You'd never think of that unless you were doing it, right? So when school would start, and they'd always have you make a report about what you did during the summer. So I would say, well, I had my vacation in the peach orchard. Because we had early peaches, we had fall peaches, we had summer peaches, we had all kind of varieties so that we were busy all summer. So I do miss a good peach. I have to go to the fruit stands down here to look for good peaches. Okay, now we just turn them around and go back the other direction, right? I know people do those all in a row, but I like to cut them apart. All right, then let's go down this side. Here we go. We could probably speed that up a tiny bit without me messing it up. Now see, we want to have the blue line right on this. Okay. Lynn was here and I did so much talking I got checked. Okay, let's cut them apart. We'll do this. This is going to be fun having 36, is it, to pick from, or 32? Must be 32 because we have 16 to start with. Yeah. Did I get them all? Yeah. Now we'll just take a minute and we'll cut those apart, and then we'll go and take them on and press. I know I watch Andrea with Arkansas Gals, and she will just take a cutter and cut right through there, and I cannot seem to do that. I could veer off and cut the whole thing up. It's hard enough for me to stay with it when it's even with a straight edge. we go. Okay, I'm going to take a minute here and go over and iron them all up, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, boy, that took a long time. To press them all with the seams open is what it's asking for. And I bet that's because we're going to have so many seams in the middle of these blocks that they need to be pressed open. It says you will have 2 half square triangles. One of these little guys. 2 of those for each pair, of course, because we're cutting them in half. So now the next step is to trim them all to 2.5 by 2.5. Oh, brother. Okay, well, I guess we'll do it together, okay? Alrighty, 2.5 inch. I think my smallest is a 3.5. So let's see, what they taught me to do was use some tape and no tape on the line. Tape 1, 2.5, just past the line so you can see where the line is when you're putting the tape on. And then put it so 1, 2.5, and then just a little bit past it is where you put the tape. Because then you know which ones you're supposed to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for the lines that are just inside those. Does that make sense? Okay, let's start in. Line it up so that that's on the line. Now there's going to be a lot of it cut off, so I'm going to allow some under there and then put that on and make it perfect to this one. Yeah, this is going to take a little time, isn't it? But we're going to come out with perfect ones. And they do look nice. You see the back is all perfect. Well, I guess it'll be a little while here, but we'll get them done, right? So I'm lining up the grid. It says an Omni grip on here. I'm lining up the cross, the corner to corner line on the fold, on the seam line. Then I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to put this corner exactly where it belongs, right in there. Because the first time that I trim, I don't trim it all off on one direction. Does that make sense? So this comes up to exactly there. Perfect. 2 down. Multitudes to go. Gee, we better move my other stuff out of the way. I might cut that up too. Well, this is going to go quite slowly, and so I'm going to turn off the video for just a few minutes, and when I get done trimming them all up, then we'll put the camera back on so that we can pick out which ones to make the block with. Because I have a feeling we're only going to pick 16 of them and put the other 16 away. Then we make a big star with 16 of them. And then we put on the white edges, then we put on the color edges, and then we put the corners on. Pretty straightforward now that we've done those corners a few times, huh? Okay, so let me get to working on this. Hi again. Okay, so we have them put together and pressed. This one's pressed this way. This row is pressed this way, and this way. So right now I'm going to pin them together because I like to pin intersections, especially when we have such little blocks. So we're going to pin those together just so they're nesting just ever so lovely. I put it through right on the seam, and oh, it's not quite on the seam back there. Let's do it again. Now, that's right. Boy, they're not perfect. How can they be off at all is more than I know, because they're all exactly 2.5 by 2.5. And I have the seam marked. Well, we'll try and make it work. Okay, I'm okay with those. Those go together real nice. Okay, this goes like that. Okay. I'm putting another pin in there to hold that seam in the right direction. Don't poke yourself. Here we go. Okay. While I was over there ironing, I put on, I have a TV here. So I put on YouTube and I was going through looking for something to look at, and doggone if Billy Graham didn't come up. So I'm watching him from 1981. I was only married 1 year I was so young and so dumb. Oh, where were you in 1981, huh? Here we go. This final seam. Come on, baby. Let's move along here. Don't get hung up on the corner. There we go. My machine is getting hung up a little bit with all the thickness at these intersections. I got to admit though, pressing the seams open does help. Well, I'm going to go iron this and I'll be right back. I don't know, could you hear me? I'm just really happy with the results. Those corners came together surprisingly well. Now let's see if it's 8.5 by 8.5. It's a little bit bigger than that. Well, we'll just take off a little smidgen on both sides. We don't want to lose our points. There. Now, the next thing is the little white ones. So here we are. What do you think about, should I have mixed them up better and had a blue and a, you know, or the reds and the pink okay and the blue and, well, I don't know. I like it though. What the heck. Let's press that out nice. Now let's see, there's a trick to these corners again. I'm going to make sure I get those right. Now what we do is, let me draw a diagonal line across the back of the D's. Okay. Maybe I better use a disappearing one, huh? And this is a Quilter Select self-erase marker. Okay, so the directions say, draw a second diagonal line a ½ inch away from the first marked line. All right, we can do that. ½ inch. Now that ought to do it. Now let's see, what do we do next? We put it on the corner with the shorter marked line towards the outside edge of the block. Okay, so the shorter marked line, which would be this one, toward the edge. And then it says you sew on both of the marked lines. I'm going to line that up. I think it'd be a really good idea to press your block before you put this on. Press it really flat, because if it, once you anchor the corners with this diagonal stitching, then you can't really go back in and flatten it out anymore. So the shorter line towards the exterior. And we'll put the red one, not over there, but over here. Oh, there we go. Okay, then we're going to put a blue one on this corner, shortest line away from the center. Okay, it says shorter marked line towards the outside edge of the block. Okay, we got that. Can you see that okay? The shorter line towards the outside. Then it says, sew on both marked lines. And then cut the corner away, cut the unit apart halfway between the two marked lines. All right, we can do that. Here we go. Okay, I think that's it. We're going to cut off those corners in between the two lines. Let's make sure. Cut the unit apart halfway between the two marked lines. Okay. That's so scary to cut those corners. And here's our extras to go for the next project, right? Well, let me give it a quick press and we shall open this up and get it ready. Okay, we're done. Yay. And the only thing left to do is to trim it to a 12.5 by 12.5 and then trim these guys to 3.5 by 3.5. So aren't they cute? I like them. I especially like this one. And look at this. This is going to be such a stupendous, I mean, a stupendous is a strong word, but I think it's going to be a super, super quilt. And it's going to have all these beautiful colors that remind me of Cory and her beautiful colors. I especially like her line called Sunwash, don't you? I have a project from Pastry Shop Box that used Sunwashed in it. So I'm going to look forward to getting that project done. I got it probably a year ago, and it's time to get that done too. Boy, I just have to get started on that. Firm foundations with the song, the phrases from the songs in the fussy cut squares. I also want to work on my hunting quilt for my grandson. And then the other one is, I got my first month of woolly whims. And it's going to be so cute. So I can't wait to get started on it. Maybe I'll start that tomorrow. Okay, well, good seeing you. And I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because this is really fun. Thank you, Cory. I'll say it again. Thank you, Cory, for doing this mystery for us. All right. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.